Adam James Hartlett. I'm 30 years old and I was born and raised in Adelaide, Glenelg. I got the flick from Glenelg, I think it was in the under-17s. I went through their junior program, played Smart Play Cup and stuff with them. And then in the under-17s, they didn't select me in their squad. So I actually had a contact who I knew through Edwardstown Footy Club where I was playing. Andrew Milligan, he was out here with the under-17s at the time and got me out here and Hamish as well. So yeah, it was quite a few years ago now, but haven't looked back. Won a couple of flags. Oh, geez. Well, I was selected second round pick, number 25 to Carlton in the 2004 draft. Went over there with a good mate of mine and another Westies recruit, Jordan Russell. He went pick 9, I went pick 25, and went over there together. I only played 11 games over 5 years, had a few injuries and that sort of stuff, a couple of suspensions, and then made my way back to Adelaide at the end of 09, and straight away, I just wanted to come back to Westies and play out my senior career, for the Bloods, and hopefully play 100 games and win a flag, and I've ticked off one of those boxes, so happy days. I work as a property manager at Century 21 The Bay. Mum's a boss, so I get to have a little bit of time off here and there to do things like this, which is all good. My tattoos, I actually got my first tattoo when I was 18. I just moved to Melbourne, and I was infatuated by them growing up. Always had the rub-on ones with the water and that sort of stuff, and Mum and Dad said you can only get a tattoo once you moved out of home. So yeah, I reckon I'd been in Melbourne about a month and got my first one. And originally they were all sort of family orientated. I've got a matching tattoo with my brother and a lot of symbolic stuff representing sort of family. But as I've gone a bit older and I've just followed tattoo artists and different styles and that sort of stuff, and just got what I like now. So no, number 7, not really. It was sort of thrust upon me when I returned to Westies. I all through my footy career I've had a number with a 2 or a 0 in it, and my first ever football jumper number was number 52, which I wore at Edwardstown, and I actually asked to have number 52 when I returned to Westies. But the coach at the time, Andy Collins, wasn't too happy with that idea, so they gave me a single digit number 7, so that's what I've had ever since. I barracked for Port Power, only obviously because Hamish is the vice captain there. But growing up, always a Crows supporter, and then towards the end of my schooling days, year 11 and 12, I had a fond spot for Essendon first. No other reason other than the fact that a bloke called Damien Cupido played for him, and I was just obsessed with him. I don't know why, and he ended up playing for Westies as well. So I thought he was a bit of a guru. It's obviously leadership in all footy clubs is pretty important. You got to set examples and lead by those examples and set expectations and make sure that blokes are doing the right thing. I think our leadership group was really strong in 2015, and the boys followed suit, and it was all really good. And this year, it's been a little bit different. A lot of our senior group have been injured and in the rehab group, and it's been a bit more difficult to lead by example, I suppose, when you are in the rehab group and that sort of stuff, and there's not many of those leaders out in the field, educating the younger boys on where to set up, or how to do certain things better and all this sort of stuff. So I think once we get that core group of leaders back out on the track, that our performances will probably start to improve. Yeah, you've got to obviously enjoy where you play your footy, and you obviously get the best out of yourself and the best out of the group if they're enjoying being around the club and enjoy being a part of the club. And I've never felt more a part of a footy club than I have with Westies. So I've loved it. It's just been injury after injury. Early doors at Carlton, I had a lot of soft tissue problems, hamstrings in particular, and then a lot of knee issues as well. And it's never been an ACL. I've never missed sort of a season, but I remember the last practice game of my first season at Carlton, I tore my meniscus and missed 12 weeks. And then the last training session of my second year before round one, I tore my hammy off its tendon. I missed 14 weeks. So it's always been injuries with me. And I've had probably close to a dozen operations on both knees combined, and numerous hamstring and quad issues as well. So that's been probably the biggest hurdle, and being away from family and friends when I was at Carlton and injured a lot of the time, that was probably pretty tough as well. I think it's been nice to see blokes like Ollie Johnson and Nick Favretto and Jack Evans step up over the pre-season. They were outstanding, and a couple of the boys have been rewarded with some senior games so far this year. Like Jack Evans has really impressed me, and I think if that group keep sticking to it, they'll play a lot of senior footy for the Bloods. Tom Schott is injured at the moment. I like the way he goes about it. Just got to keep working hard, those boys. And a couple of younger boys. I like the look of Graham Hampton. I think he can play a lot of senior footy. Jamie Hampton as well off the half back line. So we do have a lot of young fellas who have really impressed over the pre-season and at the start of the season so far. So hopefully they can continue their development and keep working hard and play lots of footy for us. Oh, good question. Probably because when we start losing, I got to take it out on someone, and they seem to cop it the majority of the time. But I don't know. Good question though. When Joel Tippett was at the club, I put a couple of fart bombs in his footy bag and zipped it up before training. Chris Schmidt, we were playing Centrals, I think it was last year out at Centrals, and Paul Thomas had captained the state team that year, and they'd lost quite badly. And I think we were up by a little bit, and Paul Thomas started going around abusing his teammates. And Schmitty, I don't know, he might have just been having a bad game, and Schmitty said, "No wonder we lost the state game with you. What chance have we had with you, skipper," or something like that. It was pretty brutal, but hilarious nonetheless. All right, little Indy, she's 16 months next week, and she's going really well. Amazing little girl. My fiancée Sarah and I, we've just bought our first house together in Hilton. We moved in just over a month ago, and lots of exciting stuff happening there. We've got a big renovation extension that we're getting started pretty soon, so that's just going through council at the moment. But we've done a fair bit in our 5 years together, Sarah and I, so it's all good, all positive. Sez has calmed me down a fair bit. I barely saved a cent before meeting Sez. I was just every weekend or most weekends, or finding a way to spend my money. And if it wasn't for her, I certainly wouldn't have a house. But is that sort of what you want?
No,
settler.
No, there's always in a relationship one that settles for the other because they're better than them.
I've definitely settled. I think my first year that says my first full season of footy with Sez it was in 2012, and obviously that was a pretty good year. Personally, my form was good, and we got to the grand final. So she was a bit of a good luck charm at the start of our relationship, and I know a few of the board members were pretty happy that she'd calm me down a bit. So she's been very comforting, and just a huge support for me, and understanding of the time commitments and all that comes with SANFL footy. And it's taken its toll on occasions. It's hard now with a young family to spend so much time away from them, working full time, and also training most nights of the week as well. But as I said, she's been a huge support. I'm sure most of you know I'm the model for Ed Harry menswear. So that's a bit of fun, a bit of a hobby. Actually, it all came about because one of the owners, I think, or part of the marketing team, is a huge Westies supporter. So I think they emailed the club a few years ago now to see if any of the boys would be interested in getting involved, and I've got quite a nice face, so I put my hand up. The flag, easily. Unreal. I'd won a few flags as a junior, and I guess I was a bit spoilt then, because I just assumed that it'd just happen like every year. I'd just keep winning flags. Lost one in 2009 when I was playing in the VFL. That was my last year in Melbourne, playing for the Northern Bullants, and then obviously lost one a few years back for the Bloods, but very happy to get one in 2015. There's a lot of nice footballers in the SANFL, and I really love the way Brett Eddy goes about his footy, like absolute gun. There's Corey Baird's another. I like the way he goes about his footy, can play both ends and impact. Probably leaning a bit towards the taller blokes who I play on or play against. Those two definitely stand out. Wonky's always a tough one, and Ainger, very different in their styles of play, but Wonks is just so strong and got great hands and a beautiful kick for goal, and Ainger, very mobile and can take, good pack mark. So, it's always have our work cut out, playing against the Eagles. A couple of gun forwards there. I've played on Louis Johnston a couple of times. He's a good player as well. Moves really well. I just love Greek food, and I love Tim Tams and ice cream and chocolate. We've got a pretty vain squad. Top of the list, it's a toss-up between Zach O'Brien and Nick Homburg. Schmitty, oh God, makes me ill. And who else? I reckon a bit of Tate Silverlock. He doesn't mind a reflection in the mirror from time to time. Bit of a flex of the triceps. Yeah, it was bucketing with rain last night at training, and I looked over at the squad, and Tate Silverlock was walking around with no shirt on. Oh, he's not there. He's not all there. We do appreciate your support, and I know it's been tough for you guys to front up most weeks and see some of the performances that we dished up, and you're probably as shocked about it as we are, but we are working hard to make it all right and get back to the footy we know we can play.
Bye bye, have a nice time.